Give us the inbound, give us what we're going to be going over this show, and take it away.
I'm Carrie Pullaro. I'm a relationship coach. I help high achieving women become the prize in love and life. You're his partner,
You,
not his therapist. You are not a rehab center for men at
right.
all.
What are you seeing about some of your clients that's having partners that's turning into a therapist relationship instead of like a connectiveness type of thing? Because that's what it's all about. I
Yeah,
mean,
my experience has been working with women that take on all of their partner's stuff. Like they're trying to manage all of his behavior, like mother him. They're trying to mother him, and then they're making his trauma become the explanation for all of his behavior because they think they're his therapist. He might be lashing out or being upset with me, and maybe he's avoiding or maybe he's disappearing, but they're telling themselves, like, this is just his trauma and explain it away like it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And they might even take a step further and then go and try to counsel him. Like that's a big no-no.
so what are some of the things you're seeing in, for example, since I have so much coaching under my belt, I have so much therapy under my belt, and I try to do that with Andrea, and it always backfires on me, right? But what I've learned is from last week's thing, I try not to expect certain things because they haven't been through my same turmoils. They haven't got the same coaching with me. And once I change that mindset, things change because I can't expect anything from anybody else and I can be happy with my situation. Right.
Mhm.
Now, when you're a partner or your partner, and sometimes you might have some old trauma issues and everything else, as a coach, what are you telling your clients? Or what are the main topics coming up?
A lot of the main topics coming up are how can I change him? And that's not the question to ask
Oh,
to him. Like that's absolutely a big no.
that's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you're seeing in, like, say for example, since I have so much coaching under my belt, I have so much therapy under my belt, and I try to do that with Andrea, and it always backfires on me, right? But what I've learned is, like, from last week's thing, I try not to expect, or I try to not expect certain things because they haven't been through my same turmoils. They haven't got the same coaching with me. And once I change that mindset, guys, things change because I can't expect anything from anybody else and I can be happy with my situation. Right.
Mhm.
Now, when you're a partner or your partner, and sometimes you might have some old trauma issues and everything else, as a coach, as an identity coach, as a female coach, what are you telling your clients? Or what are the main topics coming up?
A lot of the main topics coming up are how can I change him? And that's not the question to ask
Oh, that's not good.
at all. Yeah, that's absolutely not the question to ask. It's like, how are you showing up in the relationship? It all comes back to me, right? How am I showing up in the relationship? It's not my responsibility to regulate two nervous systems. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, explain that, please. Please explain that. Guys,
I'm
you're gonna be
responsible.
dropping the nuggets. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you're watching this on Facebook, leave us a comment. Oh, I gotta
Like
take
I'm
this
I'm
back home.
responsible for me. I'm not responsible for regulating
Hmm.
another human being's nervous system as well. So the work is really within me. It has nothing to do with me making sure that he is regulated. But the thing to understand is every relationship is really two nervous systems. It's like two bodies, two stress
True.
responses, two emotional capacities. But in a healthy partnership, each person is responsible for their own regulation, right? Like I can support you. I'm here to support you, but I'm not going to carry you.
Oh, that's deep.
And sometimes there'll be what I have been seeing is women are trying to regulate two nervous systems. Like she's doing her work and trying to do his. Like that shit don't work. You cannot do that.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Well, do you recommend at least hinting to that part? Or because when you start doing counseling, or let me switch this up. When you start doing some sort of therapy or you start doing some counseling and everything else, one, for me, like, I'm thinking, okay, I have this under my belt. Is it bad to push it onto your partner when they don't have that experience?
You can make a suggestion of them finding their own, I guess, therapist, counselor, coach, whatever it may be. But everyone's responsible for doing their own work. And if they're not going to do their work, they're not going to do their work. Do you know what I mean? And it's you get to be really careful how you even bring that topic up because a lot of times it's going to come across as judgment or I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Start the conversation like that, he's not receptive at all. I know that from experience.
Right, right. I mean, even for like, we have a chat right here, Miss. Watch this. Tanya over there's like, now in my next relationship, right here, what she's doing. This is so cool. Now in my next relationship, I'm not your therapist. Our feelings are our own, but communication is key to a team. Carrie, explain that one, because that came from one of our viewers. In fact, one of my friends, she's a manager at one of the big hotels.
Oh, that's awesome. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Communication is key, but I get to be responsible too of like how I'm coming into that communication. I get to come in neutral and like I get to read the room. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not just going in and bulldozing. Like, hey,
Right.
there's like an issue between us. You get to go and do your work. I do get to be responsible for creating a safe space where we can both communicate. But it goes 50-50. It's both ways. So if one person is trying to create a safe space and the other person is not, then that's still not working either.
Now, let me ask you another question, right? What if your partner has daddy issues, mommy issues, certain things that might be going on that you're not aware of? And how are those behaviors affecting, say, the future plans, even though they're not communicating?
So what I have come to understand is a lot of men have complicated relationships with their mothers. But that's not the problem
I'm
by
guilty of it
itself.
also.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, and that alone isn't the problem. Like the issue is what he does with it. Because everyone is going to bring a wound into the relationship. What matters is taking responsibility for healing that area.
Healing, right? What if healing is misconstrued as something else? Like you have other siblings involved, they want the attention. I never got the attention. Like me and Andrew had this conversation about, having mother issues and everything else, where it's like, at one point in time, you have to pick your partner over your parents, or you have to have those things addressed, right?
Mhm.
If you don't, the relationship also kind of like has a divide over certain things. Why you're not doing this? Why I didn't resolve this issue with my parents, or whatever else, right? How do you address that issue?
Yeah, I mean, this is difficult for any man because
That's why I'm asked.
in conversations that I've had with men on that topic, they have this idea that they're now abandoning their parents or their mother. Well, if I have to choose my relationship over my parents,
Okay.
and it's not choosing the end all be all. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a reorder of your loyalties. Like it's fucking adulthood. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like,
When you choose your partnership, your emotional allegiance, I guess you could say, kind of shifts a little bit. And it's not because your mom or your dad don't matter anymore. It's just intimacy requires like a clear hierarchy of like what's important to me. So if your partner
true,
is optional, but your parents
true,
are non-negotiable, then you're not available for partnership, period. So get the fuck out
true.
of your relationship.
Yes, yes, yes. I believe in that 100%, because intimacy and all that stuff has a lifelong. Now, if those are impeding your situations and you're arguing about certain crap that doesn't even make a difference, it's gonna work. Will it?
Like when picking your partner doesn't mean, because I this is the one thing that I think gets misconstrued. Picking your partner doesn't mean you're cutting off your family or
Yeah, no,
disrespecting your parents or
no,
being mean or
no.
cruel. It's just acknowledging that your partner is your primary team.
It's same like for when you see those ones where they say they put their wife in front of the kids, because if your wife is not happy, your partner is not, the kids don't be happy, everything falls apart, right? I believe in that 100%. Sometimes when you have kids and you're married and all this other good stuff, things start to just pile over. Financial, time, attention, intimacy, communication. It gets to be a much. But thankfully I have Miss Palero as a coach and a friend, where it's like the inventory of knowledge she gives me, I relate it with my relationship with Andrea. And it works out great. So I mean, we have our rough patches, nobody's perfect. But understanding that, if you see it, you protect it, and you build unshakable boundaries emotionally. And if you're doing with immature partners, where does that path go? Right? What happens in that sense, right?
You really get to reassess your choice
Okay.
and understand that immaturity isn't about age. It
Right.
is about capacity. So, like an immature partner will struggle with being emotionally responsible or accountable. They will probably avoid trying to repair something after a conflict. They also struggle. What do they struggle with? Let's think. They cannot tolerate discomfort. So that is why they don't want to approach conflict. But they're not bad people. They're not bad
No,
people at
no.
all. They're just not available for
Okay.
adult partnership because they don't get it yet.
How would you help develop in your coaching that type of situation?
So I would speak to my clients about where is it that I'm confusing potential with readiness. Immature partners often have good intentions, right? They have big
Mhm,
ideas.
mhm.
They really want to be in a relationship, but they have little follow through. Little follow through can look different, right? They might be following through in some areas, but they have less experience or immaturity in other areas, right? I find that women will stay, or my clients, anyways, will stay thinking, well, he means well, right? It's almost like they try to explain it away. Like, let me
Okay, they
explain it
make an
away. Let me
excuse.
justify the behavior.
Yep,
And
that's if you start justifying the excuses or you're making excuses for the other person, then you're already down that path
yeah,
because you're seeing you're on hopium and you're doing a lot more than what is expected, right?
I
it's
love when you call it hopium. I think
it's
it's
called
so funny.
hopium because
No, it's
hopium
true.
will not get you anywhere
Yeah.
because they might need the coaching. They might have to put work in for themselves. They might have to go experience some certain things and actually take accountability for a lot of different things. Now, where is the balance between sacrifice and giving up a part of yourself versus keeping your standards?
Well, I think we get to be really aware of like how we're going to show up because it's not my responsibility to become the adult in the relationship all by myself. So if I'm
Okay,
the
let's
one
do that. Yes.
if I'm the one who's initiating all the conversations, like recognizing the patterns, setting the structure, and like that dynamic, you want to talk about killing your fucking attraction, like it's done. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have one partner that's blaming and another partner that's like, okay, cool, like I'm willing to take accountability and responsibility for my part, what that creates is this parent child energy. And you want to talk about like, whoo, yeah, no, no, I'm just telling you, all sexual attraction's gone.
As a woman dating or something, what do you look for in a man? Because some of our old videos was like, dating is dead with the apps and all that stuff. Guys, if you're watching this on TikTok, go on to that YouTube channel at Boundaries and Brotherhood and look at her playlist. She has a lot of insight on what women want from men. This is why she's my expert. She's my authority. If you want to work with her, follow her at Carrie Pullaro at allsocialmedia.com because she's one of my authoritative coaches on finding out how you can communicate. You can do a lot of things in your section where it's like you can figure out ways to have her help your relationship, like how she does with mine. She gives a lot of insights. You should listen to her more. If you're watching this, guys, please go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button because this TikTok is changing around so much. Drop me a comment, drop Carrie a comment. She will answer your questions live on the show. And that's what's cool about it, right? Because she's helped so many different women. She's helped herself. She's helping me. And understand that one of the main things that women look for in men is what she drops. At the same time, she also gives your partner ways to communicate better, to have these certain things. If not, she can get you there. Trust me, she can get you there.
Yeah, and it's funny as you were talking, I was sitting here thinking about like what is it that I look for in men? I'm like, man, I look for things that are so different today than I did when I was younger.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I was like, I mean, and I'm talking young, like graduating high school,
What you
getting
talking about?
into
She's still young.
I mean younger, like in my 20s, like early 20s,
Oh
getting
no,
out of
don't.
like
That's dangerous.
high school, college, right?
That's
Like
dangerous.
back then, you're like, I want a man with a job, right? Like either he's going to school or he's getting a job. It's like, so that used to not be on my list.
Right?
That used to not be on the list. Like, listen, he gets to have a job and a car, and I know that sounds so funny, but you will not be shocked with the amount of women that I have spoken to, like that have overlooked those types of things. And I'm not talking about women in their 20s. I'm talking about women as they've gotten older. That
Oh yeah,
they
your
become
clients
the
now.
provider. They become the
Okay,
provider. You know what I'm saying? So now things look a little bit different, right? Back then I looked for like little things like that. Now I look for emotional maturity, self-responsibility, and the ability to lead his own fucking life. Do you know what I mean? Like
okay.
it was, I find it comical when women are like, he needs to be 6'2" and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I
Yeah, all
mean,
that crap.
I don't really think those are non-negotiables. I mean, if that's what you want, you absolutely can, like, that could be one of your something on your list. But for me, that's not really super important. For me, capacity is important.
Capacity.
Like nervous system leadership. You know what I mean? Like, I look for
Okay.
a man who can regulate himself, who doesn't outsource his emotions, who does not collapse under like a little bit of discomfort, but he can stay present when things get real and honest.
Oh, that's deep right there.
Because like safety isn't in like the words that are coming out of his mouth, it's how he shows up under pressure. So if he's showing up under pressure like combative or avoidant, yeah, you know what I mean? Like it can be
Okay.
different. That just tells me a whole lot about him. Like
Okay.
he is at the moment he is not able to regulate himself.
Explain more of that because I think so. Some of the things you said probably described me. No, I'm just joking. But all the stuff that I've got to work on over the years, right? Now, a lot of the times, guys, if you're watching this and you haven't figured out that this is what, like, if you're in a situation where you're tired of dating these not women and to get a good partner, you might have to take a real deep look at yourself and where you stand with what she's saying because she works with women. Even though you might have your money up, you might be 6 feet making $100,000, but you might be looking for a different type of woman that might not even match the issue, right? But what Miss Palero is giving you is the game so that you can understand that this is what women are looking for in today's. She's giving you the real game, what she's seeing out in the field, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think also when we talk about emotional regulation, because I know you just asked about that, it's also my responsibility to regulate myself. So,
Mm-hmm.
y- you
Mm-hmm.
know, if I want him to be able to regulate his emotions and okay, so this is emotional regulation. It is the ability to feel your emotions without making someone else responsible for them. Cut and dry, real
Yeah.
simple. It's my responsibility and it's also his responsibility. We are both responsible for ourselves. It does not mean that I need to be calm all the time or that he's going to be calm all the time. It just means that I'm staying present, I'm being responsible, and I'm being connected when my emotions show up. If I am not in a place that I can have a conversation, then I simply remove myself from the space and go handle my emotions and come back. We don't go into conversations when we're emotionally charged.
Correct. Correct.
Right,
But
right, right.
explain this, right? Where say you're dating a man that
Mhm.
is has issues
Right.
is as a woman. When is it do you sacrifice yourself or when do you use the exit door when it starts getting too much? Explain some of those attributes or those negative things
So what would you consider too much?
as a woman or as a guy, vice
Ooh,
versa.
no, let's talk about guy. I want to know.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Like say if I'll give you my example. Like say if Andrea, like sometimes she gets emotionally charged, she might be exhausted from work, she has to come home, she has to deal with kids. I try to do everything else possible, and she starts getting very like she stays on her phone, neglected for it, right? Like really, really a situation where she might just want to go use the bathroom all the time and get away from me, the kids, and everything else.
Okay, like distraction.
Is that a red flag for me to, or just should I give her a space so she can kind of reconnect? Because we had this big conversation about this, right? And that's a question, right? Remember she said that?
We love her. Yes, it's very, very
But at the
blunt.
same time, right, as a guy, you want certain attention, especially with my type of background where feelings wasn't a big part of my repertoire. But I have to do it for my kids and I have to do it for her. From your point of view, right? From a coaching point of view, is that a red flag or is it something you can work on with say couples?
So do you mean like her whenever y'all are in like some kind of conflict or conversation? It sounds to me like there's some nervousness that kind of takes over her body. So
Okay.
where she'll run to the bathroom a lot or she might be on her phone. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was kind of hearing when you were sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that to me is an attempt to kind of calm myself, right? But
Okay.
however, sometimes me just walking away from the situation, maybe like this is what supports me a lot is I write down everything that's going through my head, because when it's in my head, it's like a big jumbled mess. So I write things that are going on in my head, and then I'm like, when I read what I wrote, I'm like, oh, and like it's
Oh,
almost like it gives me a little bit of clarity. And then I have now kind of changed my state because I'm not as anxious. When it's all up in my head and I don't know what I'm going to say or how to articulate it, I get really anxious and really nervous. And I might stumble over my words a lot, or I might try to distract myself because I'm really super uncomfortable because I don't know how I'm going to get my point across to you. But when I'm able to like write it all out, get my thoughts out on paper, and then look at what is it that I truly want to communicate from this, then it's easier for me to go back into the conversation because I'm now in a calmer state, like neutral. Do you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. What are you looking for in a partner? What are you seeing? Or if a client comes to you, Carrie, I'm looking for this clarity in a partner, what would be your top 5?
Safety is number one.
Safe? What do you mean by safety? Emotional safety, physical, like financial? I
Um,
mean, that's kind of like
well,
because it ties
so
into our topic.
what emotional security is, it's just knowing that I can like be myself without like being in this fear of I might be punished, or they might withdraw, or they might abandon me. So what I look for is more about like predictability, presence, someone who's willing to repair. Because
Oh, that's wow,
when I have an
that's
emotionally secure partner, like my body will, your body doesn't lie. Like your body
right.
doesn't, that's the one thing that I have learned is my brain might live in denial, but my body doesn't fucking live in denial. Like,
That's a deep one.
like I can talk myself into some shit, but my body will not. It is
Yeah,
like,
because they cannot your behavior, your reaction cannot change from what you believe in everything else.
yeah.
The behavior will actually show.
Yeah. And so when I feel like I'm like in a good energy with an emotionally secure person in general, I can feel it in my body because my body will relax. I don't feel like I'm getting tense before I have to speak or say
Oh,
anything. And I'm not
okay.
like overthinking and over rehearsing all the things that I want to say in my head. And I'm not like trying to manage their emotions. And what I mean by that is like I'm scanning all the time to see their mood shifts. Do you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
it's hyper vigilant. And yeah, like,
This also works. Honestly, this works not just for partnership, but it also works for my kids. What you're telling me.
percent.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just, this is just like for humans in general.
I was just
Doesn't
about
even
to say.
it doesn't have to be yes, we're just talking about partnership, but yeah, this is just like how I show up with people. And then there's things that I get to look for too, is like like what creates that safety and that security? Well, okay, well, they follow through on what they say they're going to do. They stay present during really hard conversations, and they don't punish me for having feelings or make fun of my feelings or to discount my feelings. They actually
Big,
initiate the
big right
repair.
there.
Yeah.
Discounting feelings, guys. If you're discounting your woman's feelings or your partner's feelings, that's what changed everything for me and Andrew's relationship because I accepted them and I understood it now. And I'm not unemotional type of guy, but since I have emotions, I just know how to kind of cover them up from all the crap I've done in my life. But let me ask you this: back to that question about dating, what you was looking for in a man before compared to now. Let's go back to that one.
Okay.
What do you look for now versus 10 years ago?
Well, yeah, like I'm looking for emotional maturity. I am looking for someone that has their own standards. So,
I
someone that
believe that.
follows through with things that they say they're going to do.
Mhm.
Like things that I look for now, what is really super important to me that I have learned is I have to have somebody who health and fitness is a big deal for them. Eating healthy is a big deal for them
Okay.
because that is going to cause conflict. It's totally going to cause
100%.
conflict.
Yeah.
I'm also going to look for so it's like everybody is going to be a little bit different with the things that they are looking for with someone, but I notice certain things do affect my relationship. If I'm with somebody who health and fitness are not a priority for them, then I lose respect for them. And
Because you know the dedication, the discipline, and
there's
everything
no
it takes to work
discipline.
to get it. Yeah. I
None.
mean, that's where money, professionalism, everything can go out the window because I do the same thing. It's like if you don't put the work into your physical standards and everything else, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like you gotta have some because it shows a lot of a person. Even like I went to the doctor yesterday. It's like she goes like, "You're this age. I'm a few years younger than you, but it's like let's get you all worked up because physically you look fine." Yeah, but it's like because I got all this test done because of something that my appendicitis. Now I just found out I have gallstones or something. So I have to go see this person. And then because I used to smoke 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day, they want to get that checked out because they seen like a shadow in my lung or whatever, but I quit smoking. So like, we just want to get it checked out. Right. But even though like, if the same for me, if I don't see that you have the discipline to get up, go to the gym, work out, sweat it out, do everything else. And maybe that's from my institutionalized brain that just carried over, but you can attract the right person where just even you could be big, but as long as you're moving in that path, that's that journey, I'm cool. Right.
Right. Oh yeah, 1,000%. And I mean, even so that goes into the next thing is accountability.
Okay. Explain that. Men and accountability.
Man.
Woo.
And I mean accountability without being defensive or without blaming.
Go ahead.
Like owning your shit. Like, okay, like I hear you, or like that's on me, or like I'll handle it, whatever. But they're not defensive. Just like, let me go ahead and handle this. There's no excuses. Like there's no, what does my dad say all the time? My dad's like, reasons, excuses, or alibis. That's what he says all the time.
Take the hit.
Exactly. Your time. And it's so true. It's just like, take accountability and then just fucking change it. Like, I don't need to hear all the backstory. Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the hardest part, because even like when you go prison, you can see people, you can tell their story. And the main one that changed me is I had to take accountability for everything that I've done up to that point. It could have been much worse. Trust me. It could have been much worse. And you have to take that same stigma into everything else that you do. You have to take the accountability without being defensive and just move on, be the truth, because it'll rub off your shoulders and just move forward. Because if you're lying to yourself, what has happened when you're lying to yourself in your relationship, even with yourself and your partner, including the trauma, including crap that you never dealt with, right? Because you don't have a sense of openness after that, right? Now, does those relationships built on the man from before, how does it compare to 10 years later in the attractiveness if you don't have that?
It's funny because I can look back and go, oh, I see why none of those relationships work. It's like, look at what I was picking. Oh my God, but that's so I was only picking from where I was at that time.
At that time.
Right. And so like, it's not like for self beat up or anything like that. When I look back at those things, it's just like, this has just been a process of learning, like what I want, what I don't want, like I want clear priorities. Like I want them to know. So for example, like if a man tells you, hey, these are my priorities in my life, like work or whatever, their faith, their work, their family, their friends, and then you're fucking last on that list, like go get the fuck out of there. Because like, I feel a lot of older women cannot be soft and end staying in survival mode because men are bare minimum. Now, I wouldn't generalize that and say all men are bare minimum.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right. It's kind of like, what men are you choosing to be around? And if the men I'm choosing to be around are only giving me bare minimum, then okay, then I get to like reassess. Like for one, what pool am I picking out of? Maybe I get to go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, listen, when I was younger, I used to go to the bar and think that I was going to meet a man there. That'd be the last fucking place that I would go today. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I want to go meet somebody that has the same interests as me. Maybe I might meet them at the gym. Maybe.
Maybe. But that's
more likely like some kind of personal development seminar or something of that nature, like something that's really super important to me. So it's just really like changing the pool of where I'm picking from. Also, I don't believe that all men will give bare minimum. I believe that there are men out there that are willing to just like to go all in and that really want to go all in. But when we show up in survival mode, and it scares the shit out of them. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not inviting when we show up in survival mode because we're showing up almost like we're competing with them. Do you know, like more masculine, and that's not inviting. Not yeah, and that's not inviting them either. Yeah. So it's, and if you do get a man that's like, oh, I want to be with you, then do you know what I mean? When you're showing up in that masculinity and they are totally okay with it, it's probably because there's some kind of like Peter Pan type. Do you know what I mean?
Peter Pan type?
Yeah.
Peter Pan. All right. Anyway.
You've never heard that before?
No.
Oh my God. So a Peter Pan man is like a guy who wants the benefits of a relationship without the responsibility of adulthood. Do you remember the story of Peter Pan, right? There's no
Oh,
structure
that's
in his life.
interesting.
He's
No, I
just
never
like,
heard
I
that.
don't want to grow with the, that's
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
talking
He
about.
wants all the benefits.
He wants all the benefits, right? And he might be fun and charming and youthful and adventurous and wants to travel and socially magnetic. He's like all of those things. And he's such a good guy, but like
My friend Tanya just
he
put this, not Peter Pan. Peter
seriously
Pan.
run from that man. That is
Yeah,
not
I
the
didn't
man
even
that
know.
Jesus.
Then again, too, I've been around a different type of men for a long time. So it's like, if I'm, I'm going to spit on my coffee on that one. But anyway,
I
guys,
can't believe you've never heard that. That's awesome.
no, I'm even around ex-felons and convicts. Come on. We're like the bad boy everybody else. See, the difference between me is I have bad boy tendencies, but I look innocent until you see my criminal record. We're stupid. You know that? We're having too much fun here. Guys, if
God.
you're watching this on
is so
TikTok
good.
or something, right? This is what we do usually it's Tuesdays, but I had a doctor's appointment and stuff. But this we talk about relationships, men, women, communication, things that go on. Because Thursday I do the session with Doc, right? My female authority coach. That it's like if you've seen some of the ones online, this is what we try to do too. We just don't sugarcoat it either. But back to the conclusion, right? God, yeah. But guys, we just flew by
because we were having way too much
fun. Tune in next week. Tune in next week if you see any of us online. Come get your questions answered live. But Tanya goes like, okay, my ex-husband, she's talking about Peter Pan.
Oh my God.
Tanya,
I think Tanya's been like the excitement of the show today.
Oh, I mean, she's an ex-chola, so it's like she knows all this thing. But guys, if you have any questions, please write it down. You can watch us on YouTube live like this, get your questions answered. Facebook, TikTok. I don't know. The commentary on the TikTok doesn't seem to be working, but I'm trying to figure that out. I got somebody some African kid on here on live on this from Africa right now on YouTube. But guys, this is Gordon Watt from Boundaries and Brotherhood. Let's get back to our topic. Carrie, end the show.
Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about potential. This is just really about capacity, because you're not here to raise a man. You're not here to regulate his emotions.
Ooh.
You are here because you want emotional safety, you want consistency, and you want a partner who can meet you. And it's not your responsibility to manage him. So stop that shit. I'm done. I'm complete.
You're dropping your mic. Guys, if you're watching this, please like, follow, share, comment. If you want to work with Miss Carrie Pullaro, follow her on social media. If you want an assessment to see where we got going on, go to find out at boundariesanbrotherhood.com. Website is being built. In fact, got so much interactive things on there. App is being built. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button and watch more on our playlist.